Good afternoon, everyone. Second summer snowfall in China, this time Yunnan Province in Beijing. Strange cloud phenomenon, Alabama. More record floods in Oman. Sure looks like it's turning into the new grow zone. Longest lines ever seen of cars lined up at Texas food banks, which matches right up with Texas at the #1 position of new apartments. This will give you a glimpse of where people are moving to, with a higher supply of rental units if you can't buy a home. In this day and age, it's so important to keep your body functioning at optimal performance. And collagen may be the closest thing we get to a real fountain of youth. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and essentially the glue that holds it all together. When you're middle-aged, you're only producing half of the collagen that you did in your youth. My focus is about digestive health because the change in our diets from foods being unavailable, moving to seasonal availability of foods, and the entire spectrum of availability of foods changing. There's so much more to talk about with the benefits of collagen. You can visit healthwithadapt2030.com to learn more. The link's to the description box below. And following on the heels of the summer snow in Beijing about 10 days ago, now there's snowfall in the middle of August in southwest Yunnan Province. This is an area called Baima. It's a popular trekking area in Beijing. It's set aside as a nature reserve, and watching the news report, they talked about this snowfall being at least 1 month earlier than the normal period of time when the first snowfalls or flakes, flurries, whatever, are seen. Area here on the map for you, and the tip of the red arrow pointing to Yunnan Province is pretty much where the same location is at Beijing, at that very northwest corner there. And Chinese social media was alight with all of the stories about how dangerous the driving conditions were, how unprepared people were for the snow, how it was affecting the plants, and these camping areas are not set up for the cooler temperatures and snow at this time of the year because it's still summer. Caught a lot of the campers in the camping areas off guard as well. And speaking of unusual precipitation, this area in Oman, Nizwa, where deserts are turning into lakes, and we've seen this for the 3rd year in a row, where these mountain gorges are now turning into rushing waterfalls off the highlands. Now, with a 2,000-year repeating rain cycle, we'll come right back into when this area was well known for its frankincense growing with irrigation and the full trade routes going up into some of the driest areas on the planet right now. But there used to be stops about every 20 miles for the camel caravans taking the incense up to Istanbul and trading the goods and then bringing them back down. It seems as if there is a massive shift in Oman and Yemen into a wetter climate, new grow zone, and areas that are now filling and holding water in the desert. Strange cloud phenomena over Asheville, Alabama. I can't explain this, nor could anybody else. It's never been seen, this type of finger cloud. And off of Twitter, they're saying, well, there's much debate within the local weather community about what they saw up in St. Clair County. What do you think it is? Looks similar to the toes sticking out from under this log, but equating a bipedal hominid to a strange cloud formation, that's a little stretch. On to the thousands of cars lining up at Texas food banks. Workers there reporting that it's the most they've ever seen, and they're running out of food because the demand is so great. And if this is the respite in the interim of what's supposed to be a resurging economy bouncing back from what happened in the beginning of the year with the lockdowns and the reduction in business, and there's still this many people going out because they need the food assistance, there must be a huge disconnect between Wall Street and Main Street. Record highs across the stock market, great, but it doesn't look like it's trickling down here to all those who need food and are willing to wait hours in line and spend the petrol money to wait those hours in line to get food. If it's like this now, what happens when it gets real bad with the economy? And one of the options, if people are going to either sell their homes or look for a cheaper way to sustain life, renting. And a look here from Rent Cafe, the top 20 U.S. metro cities by projected new apartments or new units for 2020. Dallas-Fort Worth, Interesting how the previous images are also in Texas. So it seems to be a migration of sorts into these same areas that have more apartments. If you lose your home and you can still rent, where are you going to go? You're probably going to go to the states that have the most rental units available. Although in New York, people are fleeing out of there, so there might be more available rent, but you're going to have to do a lot of balancing of cost versus hindrance of everyday life. But the top few spots there: Texas, 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 Georgia. And as we sit in the calm before the storm, how prepared are you for the next round of supply chain breakdowns? The empty shelves in the supermarkets. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030. 4-week food supply or the 2-week grab-and-go food crate. 25-year storable foods with 16 food varieties. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing that you have food stored in your home. The link's in the description box below. I thank you for watching the video. Hope you got something out of it. Unexplained change seems to be the new normal.